Let's take a look at what cardinal equivalents actually are. There's a principle to do with some types of proportioning, and this principle says that lengths of proportion lines are comparable only when reduced to their cardinal equivalents. It means that the actual length of the line is not used in this type of computation. A double proportion is one of these types of computation. So what is a cardinal equivalent? What you're looking at here is a northeasterly line and a southeasterly line. So in this case, what we want to do is we want to reduce these to their cardinal equivalents in a north-south direction. So if you let alpha sub 1 equal the bearing angle, d sub 1 equal the distance, then change of y sub 1 is equal to the cosine of alpha sub 1 times d sub 1, and that will give you the distance from the origin to this point right here, which I've denoted as change of y sub 1. It would be the same thing for this triangle, for the southeasterly line. It would be change of y sub 2 equals cosine of alpha sub 2 times d sub 2. And then what you would do is you would have the distance from here to the origin and from the origin to here. And it's a similar concept with east-west lines, except instead of taking the cosine of alpha, you end up taking the sine. And so this is a northeasterly line and a northwesterly line. And what I'm looking for is the distance from here to here and from here to here. And so it would be sine of alpha sub 1 times d sub 1 equals change of x sub 1, and sine of alpha sub 2 times d sub 2 equals change of x sub 2. And so these are just latitudes and departures is all you're doing. And if you take a look farther down here on the sheet, you'll just see that the north-south is just simply latitude calculations, and the east-west is just simply departure calculations. And again, record and field measurements must both be reduced to their cardinal equivalents before certain types of proportion is performed. And so in a double proportion, if this was the record, you would have to reduce it to its north-south cardinal equivalent. And if this was the record for east-west, you would reduce it to its cardinal equivalents. And then one thing to remember is that if you have your basis of bearings correct, which is extremely crucial when doing a double proportion, and you already have it in astronomic basis of bearings, if this is your most southerly corner and this is your most northerly corner, just the difference in your coordinates is your cardinal equivalent for your north-south, and the difference in your eastings in your measured is your cardinal equivalent for east-west. And we'll be working an example of a double proportion, and I'll point that out again.